Says we're live, but are we actually live? That would be... Well, there's an ad playing, so that's usually a good sign. And the answer is yes, we are in fact live. Awesome. All right, hello everyone. Ace here. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm joined with a returning guest, or Associum.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to the stream, Oros. And today we are back with some more High Republic adventures, specifically Dispatches from the Occlusion Zone, issue number 2. Which is, once again, advertising itself as taking place a century before the Acolyte, because Disney is so desperate that they have to tie this to the Acolyte as a marketing strategy. Which is a damning statement about the state of High Republic.
I don't think that marketing anything to have to do with the Acolyte is going to make it more financially successful.
Yeah. Laughing Cavalier says the George Floyd comic.
I was going to say, do you mind being demonetized again?
Stickman says more High Republic, or says we could have a comic that made money, that respected the lore, that people liked. Instead, we have the High Republic and its non-existent readers. Riley Munn says, are there any rods in this one? We shall see. Laughing Cavalier says, the Acolyte was a huge success, of course, lol. Zim the Despot says, I know Pokemon reputation lately hasn't been all that great, but damn is Legends Arceus Legends Arceus very fun. Alright. Stickman says, whoa, Crash actually looks human here. We'll have to see how she's actually drawn in the comic.
Yeah, I never trust the cover.
Nico 40K says, High Republic, is it really war crimes if you think crime is a social construct? Stickman says, a good artist in High Republic? We will see. We will see. For what it's worth, the front cover here doesn't look awful.
I mean, we have seen some front covers that are not the worst, and then we see the comics and things change.
Yes. So, let's go ahead and actually get into the actual comic itself. Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Beyond Reach, written by Alyssa Wong. Wait, I think this is a brand new writer here. Because I don't think I've seen Alyssa Wong. So
yeah, we might have someone competent, perhaps.
Perhaps. We shall see. The cover art is done by Jake Bartok, so credit to him for the cover art. We'll see if it's the only thing that's actually passable here. So let's see, but first let's do our usual thing, see how many people had to read this comic before it became publicly available. So we have the writer, we have 2 letterers, so that's 3 people there. Then we have an editor, an assistant editor, so 5 people now. A senior editor, so 6, an associate editor, 7. And the Lucasfilm Story Group, so 8, 9, and 10. So 10 people at bare minimum had to read the plot of this comic before it became publicly available.
Hey, maybe we will get down to 9 at some point.
What does have me concerned about the artwork already is I noticed Michael Ataya is once again back for the color art. I don't know anything about Valeria Favosia, so who knows. But the color work has not been particularly great, though it's been mainly more line work that's been the real issue of High Republic comics in general.
Well, we are going to see in a moment if it is at least okay. So
yes,
let's cross our fingers.
Nico says, High Republic, is it really war crimes? Okay. Stickman says, a good artist in High Republic, a cover is boring but inoffensive. Laughing Cavalier says, I thought that said some Ting Wong. Yeah, I know that one. Hiroshima asks, where's their pronouns? We probably are going to find out because this is a High Republic comic. Stickman says, "Oh, Laughing Cavalier, you funny guy." Riley says, "Can't be that competent if they accepted this job." Yeah. Laughing Cavalier says, "How many Disney writers does it change to change a light bulb?" Yeah. Stickman says, "Mike needs to get a better job, lol. I mean, Michael Atea." Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the actual comic.
Just as a little add-on, I don't think anyone working here is going to find any other job after this.
Star Wars The High Republic, Trials of the Jedi. The Republic has launched a volley of centuries-old X-droids into the Occlusion Zone in an effort to contact allies trapped behind the Stormball. 2 of the droids, which possess old-fashioned hardware that allows them to pass by Nihil defenses undetected, landed on the planet Iridu, which is currently occupied by a warlord called the Warden. One of the droids was found by Jedi Knight Court, who used it to share information about his resistance movement on the planet. As for the second droid, nobody knows who may have found it. Alright, so for a moment...
universe, perhaps. Go ahead.
A Norwegian says, PDF Leaf showed up in Arch's chat, so I decided to watch Ace instead. Well, if he's just in the chat and not actually... Well, at least from the sound of it, he's just in the chat and not actually on the stream, so that's something. But yeah, Dev is really managed to shoot himself in the foot so many times. It's really... He constantly finds ways to surprise you. Like you set low expectations for that man, and he consistently fails to meet them.
He's digging down at this point.
Yeah. Laughing Cavalier says, "This sounds like the opening of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon." An Origin says, Is Ace covering a Star Wars fanfic? Sadly, no. This is an official Disney High Republic comic, as you can see right here. It has the Disney logo. It's also a Dark Horse comic. So
that part still stings.
It does. Laughing Cavalier says, Dev is basically Sideshow Bob stepping on rakes at this point. Yeah. Ironic for a Leaf, but I digress. Anyways, though, but I am going to mention something here, though. The whole idea of you can pass through the storm wall by just using old-fashioned hardware. Why is this not allowing... Why aren't they just using this tech on starships, then, to pass through the storm wall?
Because that will be smart?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they said what is considered old tech. Because I am pretty sure that at least hyperspace is still needed for this.
Yeah. I mean, technically there are ways to get through via hyperspace because the Nihil do it. But yeah, this isn't making a whole lot of sense. But yeah, outside Iridu City. Who are you? Shh. You're a long way from home, aren't you? I mean, are they just going to let these things crash into the surface of the planet without any means of making sure they don't disintegrate completely on impact?
Other than the outer shell, I don't think so. I mean, in this case, it is falling into a city that is controlled by the supposed bad guys. I am just surprised that there was no radar or any anti-aircraft defenses.
There's that. There's the fact that the bad guys can very easily spot the things crashing and pick them up, since this is enemy territory, and you're making a lot of noise and a lot of light by doing this. Now, granted, you could argue that the Nihil aren't necessarily learning anything new if they aren't giving them much information here, and it's supposed to be something that the Jedi are supposed to pick up. It does seem, though, like there are ways that you could have potentially done this better. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I am going to grant them is that if it is an old droid, they might believe, it was, I don't know, Jetison 10 or 20 years ago and it finally found the planet. Let's see how stupid this becomes.
Yeah. Raven Smallbean says, hello, what I missed so far? Not much. Not much at all. The Wooden Stronghold, Iridusity.
Do I voice the Warden?
Yes.
Okay. So, the Republic managed to send something through the storm wall.
Yes, Warden. That's actually another thing. This also gives the Nihil a needless advantage in knowing that A, the Republic can send stuff through the storm wall, and B, they have the technology that the Republic is sending through, which means they could potentially improve the storm wall to ensure that this doesn't repeat.
Well, I asked how stupid it was going to get, and we got an answer very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you just, as you said, you just gave your enemy all the information they need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they are going to do anything with it, but we'll see.
The droid appears to contain a message to the Jedi, but it's locked behind a set of Republic and Jedi encryptions.
What a lovely present. And it is not even my name day. Oh, what the Okay. Dig it. Board the ship and prepare for takeoff. The rest of you stay on Area 2 with the droid. I want this decrypted by the time we return from...
No! I found the droid. It's mine. I'll stay behind and work on it.
What the fuck are those faces?
Already, the artwork is starting to show itself for its true nature.
Ugh.
This is meme material here just from how bad this looks.
I mean, it is not the worst we have seen in these comics, but it is not pretty.
It's not the worst. That's the sad part. But it is detailed just enough so you can know that, yeah, this looks pretty bad. Hiroshima says that dude has a raw chicken for a head. He does! God, that is good.
I know you cannot unsee it.
No, I can't. Nico says, still an Iridu, huh? At least it isn't Tatooine. Small Bean says, wait, are we following the villains for this, or are they just the punk equivalent in Star Wars? These are the villains. Villains TM. The Jedi are actively bigger jerks so far in this story than the Nihil have been. But, you know. Laughing Cavalier says, they look like pointing soy jacks. That too!
I am just surprised that no one is... The moment that the girl was going to take the droid, no one said, no, you cannot get the droid. We need someone that knows how to fucking decrypt it. Well, I think it is the next panel, but I don't know what she's going to answer.
All right.
Speaking of which, do you want the furry guy or...
I'll voice this guy, why not? What makes you think you can decrypt a Republic droid? My best friend was a Jedi. I can crack their codes. You mean your friend can crack their codes and you can take all the credit, but this is the Nihil, though, so...
Yeah. I am still feeling very, very robbed that the last ploy worked on him. I thought he was smarter.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue. Why, Drigit? I thought you'd leap at the chance to visit home.
Velo before.
Brigitte, please don't.
I told you there's nothing on Velo. We can rally forces elsewhere. Going there is a waste of time. But this isn't.
Very well. Your price is now your responsibility. Get me the intel stored in that droid before I return from Valo. And, my lieutenant, you know what will happen if you fail me.
Okay, what is that face on the left panel there from him? He looks like what you'd expect if you tried presenting Dracula with some garlic.
I mean, it is much better than the one he made before, but still.
Yeah. And the discount Wookiee behind him isn't much better as far as facial expressions.
No, he isn't. I mean, there are some faces and some details that they more or less make right better than some of the previous comics, but still, this is not good.
I will say that the coloring on this at least looks slightly different than what I was expecting from Michael Attea, so there's that, but... yeah. Alright, let's continue.
Yes.
Wait. Another one. Laughing Cavalier says his hand looks smaller in the right panel compared to the left. It does, too. Consistency issues!
One of the lesser bad things would... well, at least we have the correct number of fingers. No one is wearing boots when they should not wear anything, and all that crap.
Yep.
So I am for now happier than I thought that I was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's continue. Okay, everyone, I have bad news, and by that I mean terrible. Crash Angua's HQ Rebel encampment. Wait, let me back it up. Good news first. We received intel that several Republic X droids have slipped past the storm wall and reached the Nihil-controlled planets within the Occlusion zone, including ours.
That is good.
The bad news is that one landed here. The one that landed here was immediately captured by the Warden and his Nihil forces.
That is bad. Crash, how are we going to handle this?
Who could have seen this coming as a possibility? Seriously. Oh no, let's send our droids into enemy territory. Hopefully nothing could go wrong. Oh no, they got captured!
I mean, if the planet they were sending to the droids to was already free, okay, fine, I don't see really a problem. If you are sending it to an enemy planet, I think we made some miscalculations here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't know yet, Savino, but I'm working on a plan. And 10 backup plans just in case. The Warden's stronghold is an old factory compound. It's huge and crawling with Nihil. The droid's in here somewhere, but I haven't pinpointed it where. And we're running out of time. Getting inside is almost impossible.
Okay, I voice this guy?
Yep.
Okay, 1 second.
Before you do, let's read some comments here. Laughing Cavalier says, that's good. Oh, that's bad. Literally Homer Simpson buying the cursed Krusty doll. Yeah. A Norwegian says, that is good, that is bad. Who wrote this dialogue? A teenager.
Okay, I am back.
All right, welcome back.
I had expectations having a new writer, but they are gone.
Well, so far they haven't thoroughly trashed the lore of the Jedi the way that other High Republic writers have done. So this is merely bad writing that's bad on its own. That doesn't, so far, necessarily destroy the inherent lore of Star Wars itself.
I don't mean my hope for at least for that being gone. I mean, as you say, we haven't seen it, but I am not exactly liking the story as it is going right now.
No. And we still have more of it to go through. Much more.
What? A second.
Nico says flat-chested crash. I know.
Okay, sorry. The headphones were making strange noises.
Alright.
Okay, then shall we return?
Yeah, although I am going to complain about the artwork a little bit again here. So the bottom right panel, what the fuck is that face on Crash?
It looks slightly deformed.
The ear is definitely misshapen. But the face, it looks like she's got she looks like she's got a massive overbite. Like Alvin and the Chipmunks were her father or something. All right.
No surprise there. Okay. For us. But not for another Nihil.
Rue.
I've gone undercover once. I can do it again.
But last time it almost destroyed you.
I'm fine. Wounds heal.
You know that's not what I'm talking about.
Cross, you are the one who sent me in last time. You said it was necessary. This is necessary too.
Norwegian says, at least she doesn't have a Habsburg jaw. Yeah, about that. The middle bottom panel there.
You were saying?
Yeah. When her chin sticks out more than her fucking lips. That much, I mean.
I mean, the one thing I can say, and we have not been able to say that for a few comics now, is that at least the eyes are not completely fucked up in every panel.
This is true.
Small little things.
Yeah, it's the small little things. Zim says, is Crash the pink-haired gal? Yes. Alright, let's continue the madness.
Okay. I'm not a Jedi anymore, but I still believe in our duty. As long as the Nihil exists, the galaxy will never see peace. This is coming from a terrorist, by the way. If it means putting an end to them, my well-being is a small price to pay.
None of that. You know better.
Crash is right. When we're working on your low self-esteem, I'm sorry.
Shari? They said it's not sorry, it's Shari. Are you fucking kidding me?
I was not going to read it that way. I am sorry, but I refuse.
Part of me wonders if this is a typo or deliberate.
I bet my ass it is deliberate.
It's a possibility, a very strong possibility, but you can't be too sure. Now, not ever.
That is also true, but I don't trust these people anymore.
I don't. Zim says, looks kinda like Sephiroth. If I say no... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, if you think Sephiroth is edgy, how much worse is this boy?
If If I say no, you're going anyway, huh?
Yeah.
You're so stubborn. Fine, but I'm going with you. Why? This is an
Why?
infiltration mission. You're one of the leaders of the resistance forces against the Nihil. How would they not know you, or at least be looking out for someone that resembles you? Why would they allow you in there in the first place? Because this is supposed to be a headquarters. There surely is going to be some security measures being taken. Oh, they're doing the whole I got captured stupidity. But why? If there's fewer people on the mission, there's fewer things to go wrong.
Yes, and I just want to say two things. One, if these people were the utter bastards we are being told time and time again that they will find this girl and say, holy shit, one of the leaders of the rebels. We are going to kill her right now.
Yeah, it'd be like the Oblivion guards when you wear the gray fox mask. You wanted dead or alive? I'm choosing dead.
But we have also the other possibility. If this went wrong, if he was found, well, that sucks. But he doesn't have all the information that the leader has.
That too.
If they are found and captured, they also have the leader.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the most complex thing to think about. Why is this going to happen? Other than because the plot demands it for some reason.
Yeah, I know. This would be so much easier if we had a spare Nihil mask. Okay, why not just have the dude slip in there real quick, get a mask, a spare one, and then slip right back out? If you're going to take up that argument.
You just destroyed your whole fucking plan in a second. You know what? I don't care. Let's continue. There weren't any intact after I finished with them.
Why, isn't this also the dipshit that destroyed his own disguises or something as well? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't remember, but would you be surprised if that was the case?
I think it was actually someone else. I think it was that one chick that's with the subplot in that other High Republic Adventures comic where she's trying to propose to the pink girl. Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, the only thing I remember about this guy, because other than they are all terrorists and killers, is that he always looks edgy as fuck and nothing else.
Laughing Cavalier says, "Sir, where are we sending Winston Churchill on this SAS mission?" Yeah. Yeah, that sums it. At least in that case, as stupid of a fucking idea as that is, at least Winston Churchill, right, was an elected official. You could always elect a new one. It's still a pretty atrocious idea, and all that. But this person is just in charge. Is in charge here in the chain of command. She's just in charge. She wasn't voted in or anything. So if she goes, they don't even have a process in place to replace her. You could very easily end up with a situation of infighting to see who's top dog.
I mean, let's remember that this is one of the worst groups ever to be formed, simply because two of the people that are in this group that I think was 5 strong, one is her girlfriend and the other is her mother. If this girl dies, it all goes to shit one way or another.
Norwegian says, sending your leader on an infiltration mission is incredibly stupid. Paul Schluck says, every Star Trek episode ever. At least with the Star Trek episodes, when they do those, they're having to do this. That's not even that much of a proper infiltration, at least in the more traditional sense, because you're dealing with a bunch of aliens where the crew don't even resemble the aliens, so it doesn't really matter who you send at that point. They're not going to go unnoticed if they get caught. They can't exactly blend in with the crowd. And two, the alternative would be, instead of sending the captains, would be to send red shirts. And we know exactly how that would go.
Well, they are red shirts. I mean, it is also... We also have the point that in many cases, they don't have any options in those infiltrations, quote-unquote.
Yeah, sometimes they need someone that is a specialist in technology and whatnot, so you have to send a science officer. Okay, that actually makes a little bit of sense. That's why in some infiltration missions, if you're trying to decode stuff, you need someone that can actually speak the language or be a cryptologist. You know, a specialty skill. And if you're on a ship that is literally thousands of light years from the nearest home port, well, you're going to have to carry your specialists on board with you, and those specialists are probably going to be the officers, because a lot of these tasks are going to be things that they're going to have to do on the daily anyways. Raven Smallbeam says, that honestly sounds more entertaining than the current plot. I'm assuming that he says, Paul Schlock says, and Roosevelt joined Churchill on a few missions, even had a fistfight with Hitler. Alpha Cavalier says, Roosevelt uses wheelchair attack. It was not so effective. Yeah, well, that's because you haven't unlocked the wheelchair bazooka guy in the Hoi 4 doctrines.
Yeah.
Riley says, TNG reunification. Let's put the captain of our flagship in fake ears and a wig and have him go undercover on a Romulan homeworld. Yeah. Norwegian says, they still didn't send Picard on every mission. Yeah. Alright, let's carry on with the madness. Oh, and even in that situation, there they had a very specific and set chain of command. If Picard went down, he had a first officer that could immediately take over. This group, you don't have that.
They did things with a little plan ahead of time, just in case, you know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Luckily, I've got a pair of trick binders. They don't lock, so all we have to do is get inside, and we're golden. You know, unless someone decides to check, make sure the cuffs are secure.
That is not going to happen.
I know. And it pisses me off. But I know. Are you sure you're okay? We can come up with another way to...
I can do this. Just promise. If I have trouble coming back, you'll come get me. This is so painful. But let's push on. When I close my eyes and look inward, I can feel the force moving through me like a storm. It sings in me like lightning, bright and all-consuming. It burns away my doubts, my fears, myself. I want to fall into it and never resurface.
This does not sound like the sort of stuff that you'd expect from a light side user.
Not really, no. Then again, at least he had the courtesy to say that he is not a Jedi anymore.
Yeah, there is that.
But it will not surprise me if he will become a Jedi again later and this was never resolved. But she's here, My friend Crash.
Ryu, you okay?
She's counting on me.
Alright, so I'm going to complain a little bit. Remember when we talked about the eyes at least being done reasonably alright?
Yes, yes.
You can already see one of them is way more elliptical than the other.
That is a nice way to put it.
The pupil there... This one right on the right-hand side here is just so stretched.
Yes, but still, it is leaks better than most of the shit we have seen. And
So
that is
far.
not saying much.
So far, yes, it is. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Alright. Hey, you! What is your name?
We've never seen you here before. You know everyone here by name?
No, but...
That's what I thought. Where's the warden? I have a prisoner for him. He left below this morning. We you shall know if you were stationed here. As for the prisoner, we'll take care of her now.
Oops!
Oh shit! Smart words! What the fuck?
Oh, beautiful. Can they please shoot them and put an end to this comic?
I wish. But let's see how they get saved.
Laughing Cavalier says, "What is your favorite color?" Yep, I was doing that reference. Also, I'm going to bitch a little bit more about artwork. Top left panel there. That face on Crash just... And also, while I'm at it, middle right panel, the hands are as big as her fucking head. Why are they big like that?
This comic might be just a little bit better than some of those we have seen, but it is obvious that perspective does not fucking exist.
Raven Smallbeam says, "The plan. I'm gonna act like a prisoner. Gets prison checked. Surprise Pikachu face." Yeah. Alright, let's carry on.
Yes. This group of Nihil Worms is smarter than the last one.
You go south. I'll go north.
Deal.
Let's split up, gang!
Go!
I'll be on comms. If either of us finds the X-Droid, call it in.
Roger that!
Okay, I'm gonna bitch a little bit more about...
Motherfucker.
They really are going searching for clues. They've already been found. The mission is already awash. Why are they fucking going and looking for clues now while they're actively having to fight for their lives?
I could find the smallest excuse for that if they were already deep within the complex. They just entered. Get out! But I am going to bitch about something else, because why do you use a lightsaber in this fucking universe? It doesn't cut the fucking helmet of that alien.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's another thing. Holy shit! Oh my god, I didn't notice that because I was going to bitch about this too. Crash's face on the top panel. They've screwed up the eyes yet again.
Yeah.
That face, oh god.
They are losing our support very fast.
But yeah, the lightsaber thing, oh my god. And the lightsaber can't even cut through this dude's helmet. That is embarrassing. This is not...
I mean, we have seen people without any armor, not that it will help much in most cases, survive a lightsaber to the back.
Mm-hmm. Tis but a
so fucking
scratch.
painful.
Yes.
Oh god. Shall we continue the suffering?
Sadly, yes. This encryption has so many layers, and they all require Jedi authorization to unlock. There wasn't anything like this at the Jedi Temple back on Velo. How am I supposed to get it open?
Excuse me? There was no Jedi authorization in the Jedi Temple. But remember, the Jedi fighters need you to insert the fucking lightsaber in to work.
I know. Why are the random starfighters the Jedi use more secure than their goddamn temple?
You know, the places where holocrons are, where all the data about all and every single Jedi exists, to keep track of them, all their history, everything.
Maybe potentially few Sith artifacts kept in lock and chain, because the Jedi don't want them to go get lost.
Wow, this... You said something about not destroying the lore. I think we found the first part.
Well, the lightsaber just bitch slapping people rather than actually cutting through them.
That too, yes. But I think this is worse.
Yes. Hiroshima says Beskar face mask. Nico says I misheard you say tipples. Laughing Cavalier says, what is your mother's maiden name? Wow, a Jedi encryption.
Oh man, that hurt me a lot.
Let's continue the madness.
Yeah, let me be the droid. I don't want to feel anything. Please input access codes.
I'm working on it. Gavi would be able to figure this out, but he's a Jedi, and I'm all I've got. It's not enough, but it'll have to do. I can't fail. They're counting on me.
To arms! Intruders have breached the perimeter.
What?
One is a young human woman, and the other intruder is some kind of Nihil Jedi.
It can't be. The guy I fought on Frander's Hidden Depot, he survived? Also, this dude managed to bitch slap another Nihil with the helmet instead of cutting through him.
This is getting even more painful.
It is.
That is hard to accomplish. But hey, I am seeing that the fucking saber still can cut through fucking bulkheads. Surprising.
So it can cut through bulkheads, but a helmet is too much.
I will ask for an explanation, but I don't want any anymore.
Kark! Thanks.
Panel from an X-Droid and a Slicer's console. Did that hacker go?
Beep, beep, beep. Kaboom!
Ah!
Did that get him? Ah!
I know you are in there, Nihil. Give me the droid and I'll make this quick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm keeping the droid. I need it more than you do.
You are the girl from Frander's workshop.
And you're dead.
Ah, the chemical. It burns.
Come on, little guy. We have to get out of here.
Grass. I have eyes on the droid.
Swoosh. Good for you. I'm pinned down over here. And no, I don't need an assist. But you're pinned down.
And you are mentioning it. Why the fuck?
Raven Smallbean says, I'm sorry, bitch slap with a lightsaber, huh? Yeah.
Apparently, every fucking Nihil has Beskar armor.
Mm-hmm. Let's carry on the madness. Don't let the droid Just don't let the droid out of your sight.
The Force moves. The Force moves through me like a storm. It sings in me like lightning. Filling me with fire. Burning me away until I am empty of everything I don't need. Just let go of the droid. I don't want to hurt you.
Liar!
Wait. You're just a kid.
Like you, huh? Neither of us has been a kid in a long time.
Maybe she's right. But it doesn't matter. Nothing matters right now except for this droid.
No, I need to get a message to the Republic.
What do you mean?
Then he'll monitor all communication beyond the star. Well, their eyes are everywhere. I haven't been able to make contact with the outside since they took over my home planet Velo. But this X-Droid proves it's possible. The Warden is trying to gather Nihil forces from every world within the Occlusion Zone. If he succeeds, Eridu will become a bloodbath. He won't stop until the planet falls. And the next, and the next.
Aren't you one of his lieutenants?
Unfortunately.
And yet you'd risk everything to warn the Republic.
I don't care about the Republic. They'll protect the core worlds, and they'll forget the Outer Rim, like they always do. But there are places that need their help. And really, what's one person's life weighed against all that? You know, even though I think that the Republic isn't going to protect us because they only care about the core worlds, and they just therefore don't actually give a shit about the outer worlds, like the one that I'm trying to save, that I somehow think is going to change their minds by me, a Nihil lieutenant, sending out a message to them. But, you know, stuff like that would be very inconvenient to bring up because it would tarnish the plot.
Yes. And I mean, at least one thing she said is true. The Republic usually doesn't give a single shit about the outer worlds.
Correct.
It was not so much the High Republic that you promised.
I'll make a deal with you. Oh, right. Alright, I've got another line here.
Yeah.
Rue, it's getting hot. We have to go. I'll make a deal with you. Unlock the Jedi ciphers and let me use the droid just once. Then I'll give it to you. So, what's it gonna be? Boom. There you are. I was starting to get worried. And you got the X-Droid.
Mm-hmm. Mission accomplished. There is something on here that you should see.
Shortly after. You unlocked the droid so a Nihil could use it? Rue, what were you thinking?
Just listen.
Also, who the fuck was thinking with this artwork? God, that panel is ugly.
God awful.
The faces are poorly... Everything is poorly detailed. Is this supposed to be taking place in space? Why? They're supposed to be on the planet.
I think they used... I don't know. I was going to try and give an excuse, but fuck it.
Alright, let's carry on. My name is Drigget Parse, and I have a message for Supreme Chancellor Lena So, which I'm sure she's going to listen to a random Nihil lieutenant.
Yeah, more so when an ex-Jedi and criminal is going to speak next. Let's see how this goes.
Before.
I'm Rue. I am not the person you want to hear from, but that doesn't matter. You have no reason to trust what I am about to say. Yes,
What?
they don't.
Exactly. What?
My name. What's yours? But I ask that you listen anyway.
Drigget.
But wait, I think the blue panels have all been for you.
Okay, that's fine. There are many worlds beyond the Stormwall that need your aid. Not just the ones that supply the Republic with resources or host your celebrations. If, as you say, we are all the Republic, then I urge you.
Beep. Access granted. It's locked. Are you ready?
Yeah. Please don't forget us. Even those of us that seem beyond reach. We are here.
Starting recording now.
And if you come, we will be ready.
I'm gonna come. Just outside of that fucking joke that I had to do, I want to remind everyone that if this was before the next Republic, this is going to do nothing because the next Republic just wipe their asses with the outside worlds away from the core.
Yep. Oh, what's that? There's slavery on parts of the on planets that are in the Republic but are on the periphery. Not our problem.
That is someone else's trouble.
You know,
like,
until one of them ends up becoming a Jedi Messiah and then turns to the dark side and helps overthrow the Republic.
Yeah, it is not like the whole Republic was told that he was the chosen one, but fuck his home planet, his family in slavery, and every other slave that is in the Outer Rim.
I mean,
You say it.
That is technically, well, the whole getting rid of attachment thing is a thing within the Jedi philosophy. However, considering that the Jedi are, considering as powerful as the Jedi are within the Republic, you would think that the Republic itself would probably go, so these guys think that this kid is their Messiah. The kid's family is in slavery. And they also think there's a very real risk that this Messiah figure could potentially be corrupted. Which would be very bad for the Republic.
Why, if it is not so much common decency, I mean, let's ignore that and be assholes for a second. It is self-interest.
Yes.
At least I think all of those people will want this supposed Messiah to be indebted to them.
Correct. If for no, at the very bare minimum, it would make it a very good favor that they could potentially, try to use to their advantage at some later date. And it's a really fucking easy favor to do as well.
I mean, the only thing that might stop many of them is that a lot of the Republic senators are very corrupt and in league with the Huts, and they are the ones that deal with the slaves the most.
This is true. On the other hand, the Huts would probably be going, how would this impact our business if this Jedi got corrupted? It would probably negatively impact our business if that happened. Even in the short term, that's probably not the best idea.
I mean, you're saying, but Jabba got very lucky that Anakin had other things to do.
So, anyways, let's go ahead and see the comments. See how many people have actually responded. No comments!
They are getting less and less, and that is not surprising.
Yes, they are. Raven Smallbean, not even perspective. What is foreshortening? Yeah. Islamic State says, have you ever read a PDF file written by Dev? No.
No, we don't want that.
No, thank you. Alright, so that was Dispatches from the Occlusion Zone, issue number 2. Thoughts, Oros?
Well, until we reached a certain point, it was not that bad, considering the shit we have read with the High Republic. But then we spoke about the Jedi Temple on Valo. We saw that Jedi lightsabers are basically pool toys, and things went downhill.
They went downhill fast. This was, once again, another travesty against the Jedi Order and the lore of the Jedi Order. On the flip side, at least it's not as bad as most High Republic comics, which is sad, but that's where we are right now.
I mean, no, I am wondering now if the next episode of this riveting adventure is going to show us that the Republic does care and is going to come and help. Because if that is true, this is going to be the biggest retcon they are going to try. The Republic not being a dick to the Outer Rim.
Correct. I don't think this... Yeah, and Nico says, how do you screw up lightsabers? They've already screwed up lightsabers. This is screwing up lightsabers even more, but they've already screwed up lightsabers.
I mean, at least, and this is the lowest bar I can give them, the previous attacks from before this comic put clothes and hurt people. And that is a travesty on itself. This one doesn't do even that.
So, yeah, this is... Norwegian says it's incredible that a company like Disney can produce works of higher quality. It's incredible that a company like Disney can't produce works of higher quality than mediocre fan fiction. I know. The only thing that's actually half decent in this, that is legitimately half decent, is the artwork on the front cover, exclusively. Because once you get into the actual comic, the artwork in there really takes a nosedive.
And still, it is better than many of the previous comics we have seen.
And it's not even close, is the sad part. This isn't even close to the worst of High Republic. Not in the writing, not in the artwork. Not even close to the worst.
Yeah, I never thought that I was going to get tired of saying a fucking Ditto face, but The High Republic made it possible. That and screwed up eyes, proportions, and everything.
Mm-hmm. Raven Small Bean says, yeah, hard to get worse than gut stabs that are not lethal now, even though it can melt metal, but what do I know? Yeah. Well, it can... Even in higher... Okay. There's that, but then there is characters getting cut with the lightsaber, like Skier in one of the previous issues of High Republic, being cut on his bare skin and being perfectly fine. Like he barely has scorch marks from, getting sliced into with a fucking lightsaber.
I mean, this is not even a lightsaber. This is a whole station exploding on someone that was supposed to be dead, and they don't die. So,
there's been that. There's the one character that fell from fucking space and crashed into the beach of a planet and was perfectly fine. As in, they weren't in a starfighter. They fell out of a space station, and as they were falling, without a spacesuit or any protection, crashed into the beach of a planet and was perfectly fine with a mild case of amnesia.
Remember that there were a lot of Nihil that were inside the space station while it crumbled on top of them and they were fine.
Yes.
So no, it doesn't surprise me that lightsabers were nerfed. It just pisses me off.
Norwegian says, I remember Tico's sister in The Force Awakens lying on a ramp above open space hatch in space and not dying until everything exploded. Yes. On the other hand, there is a possible in-lore explanation. That being that... Okay, so I do have to clarify that a lot of... Okay, so stuff like space stations and whatnot in the Star Wars lore do actually have protective... do have a specialized protective shielding that basically allows them to keep the atmosphere within the space station and whatnot. And this technology, even for the record, extends to space suits. This is why the Rebel pilots in the original trilogy can actually eject from their starfighters in the lore and be perfectly fine. Because even though they have an open helmet, they actually have a small protective shielding unit that allows them to retain an atmosphere around them. So they do actually have a life support system built into the Rebel pilot suits, on top of the life support system in the starfighter itself. So it's actually a backup system there. And it's one of the reasons why the Rebel pilots are actually as survivable as they can be in the actual extended EU lore. But point I'm getting at is, in the lore of Star Wars, you can have something like that cover a bomb bay, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of the Nihil we mentioned previously, if, and this is a massive if, the station had lost its gravity and was falling, but all the systems were online, you can think, maybe some of them have survived thanks to the defenses and all, but it was blown to bits almost already.
Yeah, I know. It's still that stupid, but the Rose Tico's sister surviving until the starfighter blew up. Yeah, I'm gonna let that one. I will let that specific issue slide. There's plenty of other things to bitch about though with those resistance bombers, because my god, is that an awful design?
Oh yeah.
It ignores the existing doctrine that starfighters used even by that point. So it's an outdated weapon system that they are using that has no basis in the reality of what battle tactics were like up to that point. Because again, in the old EU lore, a lot of the stuff like Y-wings and whatnot that they would use to attack enemy capital ships, they would use missiles and proton torpedoes and attack it from a distance. They would not fly slowly directly overhead and drop bombs of some sort, which and I suppose would be done by gravity, although technically they could. I know the TIE bombers can definitely drop bombs on stuff in space because they did that in Empire Strikes Back on the asteroid.
I mean, even if you could launch bombs like that, the rebels will never do that, mostly because it is the Empire, the one that has all the big guns and more or less unlimited manpower. The rebels don't. You don't make this design because it will cost them the war.
There's so many other things to complain about, like the general fragility of the design as well. It's even, and what really pisses me off outside of the lore is the fact that they were supposed to be inspired by B-17 bombers in World War II, which is fucking absurd because they are everything that the B-17 is everything that the Resistance bomber was not. The B-17 was actually fairly fast for a bomber from World War II. It was fairly durable. There are legitimate cases of German planes crashing into the things and them still being able to make it back home. They were surprisingly well defended. What with the sheer number of guns that they mounted on these things. Now, yes, this was still not enough to be sufficient for the task, but it did make them an absolute pain in the ass to try to fight, especially when you consider that the Americans were using their special box formation, which the Germans had to develop special tactics just to try to counter because they couldn't come at them from any angle at all without getting shot at. The Germans were actually so desperate they were doing things like they were strapping bombs to the planes and using timed fuses, so they would drop the bombs from the planes and use the timed fuse so that so it would detonate in the middle of the formation once the bomb was dropped. So they would fly 10,000 feet above the enemy bombers. They would then drop the bombs and let the time fuses go off that way. Or they would do a lot of really weird tactics to try to counter the American bombers, which is a sign that the American box formation, and combined with the B-17 design itself, was actually pretty effective, if not entirely sufficient for the task at hand.
Indeed. And here the rebels had their own formations and a reliance on speed, especially when attacking big ships, because one of the advantages that most of the rebels had was that the turbo lasers that could destroy any and all fighters could not track them. They were really fast ships. The bombers we just mentioned will be destroyed without trying.
Yeah. Or to put another example, to really highlight another example, the B-29, the bomber that was going to replace the B-17 and actually stall use in the Pacific. That bomber was actually so fast, it was faster than the A6M0, which was the fighter, at least early in the war, that was the main fighter that everyone knows from Japan. Now, they did make faster fighters, albeit in fewer numbers, like the Frank. But the point is, the B-29 was actively faster than the A6M0. If a B-29 got past an A6M0, it could not chase it down.
What a concept. Being fast and deliver your payload, then retreat. I wonder who didn't learn about that. We can bitch and moan for hours.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and call it, if it's alright with you. This has been Ace.
And this has been Uros.
Thank you for being on.
Whenever you need me, man.
And we hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care. Ace out.